Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? This is Dane from NYYU. We'd like to welcome you to the IFA edition of the Yankees Farm Report. Carlos, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Dane? Nick?
Good. And we'd like to welcome
Up,
Nick
guys?
back. Nick has been here before. You're our IFA expert. So, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How's everything going on with you guys?
Good. And we're
Well,
going to
yeah, let
see
me
you.
say it. Let me say it because we've been hearing some wild, wild rumors. So that's why we brought you on.
Yeah. Roki Sasaki, what's going on?
All right. So what I've been told is that the reason that we dropped Abdiel Feliz and Steven Martinez is because rumor is that Sasaki has an opt-out clause in his contract, which is going to be executed next year. The reason why it wasn't executed this year, one, he wants two teams. He's either going to be the Dodgers or the Yankees. So
Okay.
it's only the Dodgers or the Yankees in this deal. Um, I've been told that he doesn't care about the big money, man. He knows he's gonna make it because he's gonna be an excellent pitcher regardless wherever he goes. Um, but that's pretty much what I've been told is that they dropped the two between Feliz and Steven Martinez, let them go to the Pirates and the
Orioles.
and the Orioles, and that's what's going on now.
So, it would be class of 2024.
Correct.
So he could sign anytime after January 15th.
Correct. Yeah, but he's not gonna get posted till the end of next year anyway. So the reason why is the international free agency market ends today. It ends
Right.
today. It's done. So there's
Right.
a 30-day or 31 days, whatever you want to say, moratorium
You have
where
to
nobody
declare.
can be signed.
You have to declare by today if you're going to enter the IFA pool, right?
No, no, you can't sign after today.
No, I
Yeah,
mean you have to
today was
declare,
You talking about for this year, right?
right?
Correct. Yeah, yeah. Everything had to be done today. You have to be signed today too.
Mm.
okay. So the so he's not coming over until the end of next year, and it's just the Yankees and Dodgers.
That's my understanding is that it's just going to be come down to those two teams. He doesn't want anything else. Same thing, kind of like Yamamoto. Man, I feel like it's pretty much from everything I've been told. It sounds like it's kind of a package deal, like because Sasaki looks up to Yamamoto. So from everything I've been told is that wherever Yamamoto ends up, there's a strong likelihood that Sasaki follows.
Wow. What
That's
about
crazy.
the Japanese aces not wanting to pitch together? That's been a big thing in their culture for a long time.
Well, I think they like the competition, right? But they all want the biggest stage. And I feel like those two teams offer it. And it's kind of hard to say, well, I'm not going to go to either one of those teams and I'm going to sign somebody where else that I might not be happy because now they got Shohei Ohtani. And if the
Right.
Yankees get Yamamoto, I mean, regardless, you have the two top pitchers in the
Yeah,
big places that he wants to go anyway.
that's a good point.
But
Los?
the question still lies is who, I mean, it's still Garrett Cole's pitching staff, right? Because at the end of the
Oh,
day, Garrett
absolutely.
Cole
Yeah,
is
he's
an
still the
AL
O's.
Cy
He's still
Young
the ace.
Award winner. So, I mean, that's going to be the main dominoes. At the end of the day, you're still playing second and third fiddle to Garrett Cole regardless.
But what a guy for
For me,
Sasaki to learn from would be Cole.
No, I agree. His only knock is sometimes later on in the year is that he gets a little wild. And I don't know if it's just tiredness or whatever it is, but that have been the only knock on him. Like his stuff is unreal.
Yeah, he had what was it, 179 strikeouts last year and like a ridiculously low amount of walks, like under 30.
Yeah, he's as extremely impressive as it gets.
Okay. Los?
regarding that, what you're telling us, I mean, it could be speculation, but it seems like the Yankees were up to something, right? Because I had been messaging you about how the Yankees have shed, Martinez and Feliz, and that's basically what I think number 28 and number 50 on the top 50. It's like they're up to something. Something is going on because they've just shed like almost $2 million, I would say, as far as IFA pool money, and now they just got more pool money in the Billy McKinney trade. I don't know how much that is, but I think you said Vilorio probably gets what, 1.82 million?
I see. I don't know the exact number, but probably somewhere between 1.5 and 2. I would say he'll probably
Yeah,
fall
so
in between
that
there.
and the Yankees have the lowest amount of pool money in this cycle, so that would probably give them about $2 million of IFA pool money left.
Yeah, yeah, between there and probably it depends on how much they go to acquire. Like I could see them going to acquire close to 3 million because that's kind of what Shohei Ohtani got from the Angels.
Right.
Yeah, I was trying to get at like how much would Sasaki get, but I forget they have all the players that they signed. Marte. I mean, I don't think I saw him on the top. I didn't see him on the top 50, but I know there's other players because I've seen them with Vilorio.
Yeah, Vilario's their number one dude. From what I was told, they basically were told to
Hmm.
pick one of those three, and they went with
Hmm.
Vilario out of those three to keep. But it's going to be Angel Marte as well in this class here. Um,
So and in the next class, they're still linked to Cedeno and who else?
and Castillo, Ruben
And
Castillo.
Castillo. Okay.
So they're not gonna. Those are pretty strong from what I
Strong
can tell.
commitments.
Yeah, pretty strong commitment. Same thing with the Wandy assigned going forward as well.
Now he's
And this
someone that
well,
we've
this would essentially mean that they're probably not going to sign any qualifying offers this season or next season. Any
Correct.
free agents with qualifying offers.
I don't foresee them doing that again for a while, to be completely honest with you. I mean, you're gonna have all your chips on the table right now. You're gonna have to talk about signing Yamamoto to a monster contract. If you re-sign Soto, on top of that, you're also probably planning to, if you can get Sasaki, you're probably looking at the Japanese first baseman. What's his name? Muka. I always draw a blank on how to say it.
Murakami.
Murakami. There we go. So, but he's another kid, man. You're gonna have to level up for money. I mean, and then you have other kids like if they want to re-sign Volpe, eventually you'll shed players down the line, but right now I don't see them signing any qualifying offers anyway.
I mean, for me, basically the qualifying offer means it affects their IFA ability because it takes pool money from them. Like the Rodon signing took $1 million from them on top of the second and fifth round picks.
Yep.
Right.
And they need that money if they're going to sign Wandy in the what 2 classes from now.
Yep. And that's what it's gonna be, man. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna pay Wandy up big time regardless. I think as strong as a commitment as Roderick and Brando and Jason were, he's just like that. So he's not going anywhere, man.
Do you have any idea on the signing bonus from Wandy?
It's gonna be high, like probably somewhere between 4.5 and 5, I'd assume.
Okay.
So like Roderick's about.
Yeah.
I think a little higher than Roger, closer to my. I don't know if he gets as much as Jason,
Mhm.
um, but it's gonna be like that kind of pool.
And that commitment is rock solid.
Ruckus. He's in the videos, man, and the pictures. If you go look at the pictures that Vilario is there, he's in there. He's in center stage there, man. He's in those pictures on Instagram with Vilaro.
That's incredible. And have you heard anything about his development the last 6, 8 months?
He's just growing. Everything's getting stronger. That's all it is, man. I mean, he's so polished. I mean, there's videos of him at 11, 12 years old looking like a grown
Yes.
16-year-old
Yeah.
kid competing with players that just got signed for 4 or 5 million. So,
Yeah.
he's no slouch. He's just getting better every single day.
I think I messaged you the other day because I was watching some of his video from I think the JD Academy, and I'm like, yo, this kid's hands, he has smooth hands, very
Yeah.
good mechanics in the throw. Everything looks good. Everything looks good, man. He's very impressive at that age.
Yeah, he's super good, man. And he was learning from Felton Celestin. That's the kid
That
that
was
he was
Toronto,
looking
no?
up. Seattle Mariners.
Or Seattle. Okay.
Mariners.
Yeah, so he just signed with the Mariners last year. But he's learning from basically he was learning from him and they were working out together. And from everything I heard, like at the time, Celestin was the big dog still because he was older. But they
Hmm.
said don't sleep on Wandy, man. That kid's gonna come like a wrecking ball. And that's pretty much what he's doing right now. He's just getting bigger and stronger.
How about this class? I mean, talk about the guy that they have signed, Vilorio.
So when they signed him on January 15th, you mean?
Right. Yeah.
I mean he's a big body kid. He's power over hit. I would say right now he's probably about the 40, 45 hit, but he's about 55, 60 power. Like he's a big, strong kid. He moves all right. I think he's gonna profile best as a corner outfielder. If his development goes good, you could look at somebody like Everson Pereira.
Okay.
That would make a lot of sense, right? But the thing about Everson, man, was everybody thought he was gonna stick in center, and then he just got too big and had to move over to a corner. and he's solid. He's a solid outfielder. He's a solid player. I think that's the same kind of thing that you can expect from Vilorio if he hits a ceiling.
Okay.
This class for me, it turned different, right? Because I thought it was an okay class. It wasn't something spectacular. You weren't going up
Right.
there screaming joy. Yankees got the number one kid. It's not like that. In all seriousness, it really turned to Sasaki being the number one kid. Now you might really still get the number one kid and
Yeah,
Sasaki, but I mean that's the ultimate goal at the end of the day is looking like Roki Sasaki.
that would be
So you mean you're
incredible.
talking? We're not talking about the guys that are linked to the Yankees. We're just talking about IFAs in general. There's no Brandon Roderick or Jason Dominguez in this class
For the Yankees or just overall,
overall,
the
because
kid
usually there's a big kid and you always
there
hear
is
about
one.
him, but
The
There
the
is
Padres got
catcher,
him.
the Padres, yeah, the Fries. The Fries is
yeah.
the kid, and they're giving his whole bonus pool. That's why they're out, man, because they could be in Roki Sasaki as well. But they
Mhm.
took the chance on the top shortstop. The Fries is unreal, man. He was him and Ethan Salas, man. We're going back and forth like playing with
Mhm.
each other, and Ethan Salas made it to Double A this year, which is
Yeah, he's
unheard of.
17. Yeah, he's
Unheard
17
of.
in Double A.
Yeah, and he could
Mhm.
catch in the majors right now. Like that's how good his catching is. He could catch in the majors right this second. And you're talking about a kid at shortstop that I think you're going to look at and say, yeah, he's the only one that I would say is really really top. Dewal Joseph is pretty good too. Um, he's a pretty good kid, but I wouldn't say he's like Roderick Arias or Jason Dominguez kind of kid. But DeFries is the kid, man, that I would be like, okay, he's a problem. Like he would be an
Mhm.
elite signing.
So San Diego got two really good ones back to
Yeah, back
back.
to back. Yeah, they pulled it off.
Perfect.
They scouted well.
Wow. Okay.
Surprising to hear that it wasn't Baltimore because Baltimore has probably the most money in this IFA cycle.
Yeah, and they just took Stuyven. That was who they
Mm.
want, man. They want. I like Stuyven, man. I think he's gonna be a solid kid. His bat was legit. He can run for a bigger kid, So it was like a
Right.
smaller version of a Kevin Alcantara in my eyes.
Makes sense.
So, but it's gonna be fun, man. I'm next year's class. I'm excited about the following year with Cedeno and Castillo. That's gonna be a more fun class to look at overall and really dig deep into.
Give us a little preview about those two players.
Cedeno really turned it around, man.
That's
His bat
Manny.
is yeah, Manny Cedeno, yeah. His
Mhm.
bat is unreal, man. He and I remember I talked to him and he's like, when I first started trying out and playing baseball, like I wasn't really that good and he said I just took it to heart. Like I went to work, like I worked hard. And I asked him, so where do you rank yourself in this class? Like he said, I think I'm top five. Like I'm top five in my signing class. Like he's like
Nice.
I worked that hard to get to a point where like I can compete with anybody. He said the only kid that I think might be a little bit better than me would be Elaine Pena. And that kid's going to the Mets. He's an unreal signing that they're going to get to. But
Okay.
yeah, for shortstop he was talking about was Elaine Pena.
Right.
Mhm.
But the Mets got an elite kid there. But it's him and he even said the same stuff about Ruben Castillo. He said that kid is just unreal. Like he's a center field version of like a better hitting Estevan Florial. Left-handed bat, unbelievable defense, strong arm. He's got it all.
Wow. So that's going to be an exciting class for us.
Those would be fun ones right there. So, like I said, this year is just more kind of like I said, it's all geared towards Roki Sasaki for everybody. It stinks, man, because you take a gamble, right? Like, I mean, it's a gamble worth taking, but you take a gamble because if Roki does end up choosing the Dodgers, you lost. Like you lost that on two kids that have high end potential. And I've seen the Orioles take somebody from the Yankees, and now he's a top 50 prospect in all of baseball. So,
Right.
in Samuel Basalo. Um,
Oh, that's right. He was going to sign with the Yankees originally.
It was, yeah, and they were huge on him too. They were big time on Samuel Basalo, and it
Yeah.
just the Orioles offered a little bit more money, and he's just like, all right, yeah, I gotta go.
All right.
Sounds like
A
Taibo.
little
That's it.
bit. So you mentioned Yamamoto. Have you heard anything in that direction at all?
No, that's man, they're so quiet to the vest there, where like It's the same thing with Shohei Ohtani. Nobody really knows. You don't really know. Like
Right.
they're so quiet. They have an inner circle of like three people maybe. And those three people, the only one that knows is Yamamoto. He's not going to tell you till the last minute until he decides. So it's the same thing with Shohei Ohtani. Nobody really knew where he was going. I mean, everybody figured it was going to go to the Dodgers, but nobody truly knew. There was talk that he was going to Toronto. The Giants were making a crazy offer, and he just chose them. No,
The,
nobody knows.
Otani actually offered the Giants the same deal he offered the Dodgers first.
The
The,
well, the
the
the Dodgers,
yeah.
I don't think I
the
don't think the
Gi-
money was the same though.
No, the Giants came out and said they offered the exact same deal. He chose the Dodgers.
Oh, I
I thought
read
it
it
was
the
the
other
same
way
amount.
around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Okay.
their GM came out and said, or the president came out and said that we offered the same exact deal. He just chose the Dodgers.
That makes sense. So, what do you see the Yankees doing the rest of the year
In terms of,
for the free agent class, filling out the roster?
um, I think it's Yamamoto or bust, man. I really do. Like, I think that it doesn't really make sense to put any more fish because I'm not big on Blake Snell. I don't really
No.
want Blake Snell here. Jordan Montgomery is a solid pitcher, but I feel like, I mean, you just got Rodon on a big deal. It doesn't make sense to keep signing all these guys to monster deals if they're just average. You want those big fish, and I feel like Yamamoto is the guy I would do everything to get him, man. It doesn't matter. I don't care if I got to offer him 400 million. Like
That's what I told Dane.
he's
That's what I
Yeah,
told
that's
Dane. I was like,
25.
exactly what Lowe said.
I
He's
would have given him
25.
like a 400. Yeah, I would have given him a $400 million deal, like 12 years, $400 million, and 33 AAV. Give it to him
Yeah.
because you don't make the move by trading your supposed number two and king, and then you don't have a backup plan.
Right. It's him or bust right now. And I feel like everybody says
Yeah,
like it's scary though, because the Dodgers really are competitive. Like it's not like the Yankees of 10 years ago where it's like, oh yeah, you got them no matter what. It's not like that anymore. The
no.
Yankees haven't won a championship since 2009.
Right.
You have to bring that velocity. And that's the only thing that I would say is that you can get a kid at 25 years old that's an elite starting pitcher, an ace. He's a guaranteed ace. He would come over and be an ace. And there's a chance that you can also get a second ace with him. And Roki Sasaki, you offer that kid whatever he wants, man. I don't care if you got to defer payments like the Dodgers did. You got to do what you got to do to get this kid here.
And that's
See,
what I
I
was
would.
telling. That's another thing is because you have Aaron Judge. He's in his prime. He's got what, another 2, maybe 3 years. I think I was telling Dane the other day this. You have to be aggressive in this window. You have to. You can't just be lollygagging it and thinking, oh, we did our best. No, you need to make sure that your offer for Yamamoto can't be topped.
Yep. And
Yeah,
it's
I
hard.
would.
Because he's gonna pay for himself, right? Because once you open up that market and like you just said, if you get him, you're probably gonna get you may also get Sasaki as well. The that's that just the thought of a Cole Yamamoto Sasaki rotation is insane.
It would be the best rotation the Yankees probably have ever had. In all
Hmm.
seriousness, with
Yeah,
possible if Rodon returns back to normal, that's scary. That's a lights out.
And
I
that's
could
one
be
of the
the.
things that I was telling Dane. I was telling Dane, I was like, I to me, Rodon is a big question mark because you don't know which Rodon is going to show up. Is he going to be injured again? How much time is he going to miss time once again? How much can I rely on him? It's a question mark.
Fair
Yeah,
questions.
it
They are
is.
fair questions.
But I could be the number 5 on that staff, and they'd still win 100 games if you had all 4 of those guys. It would be unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, like I said, Sasaki, man, is straight up. There's no bigger hype train than Sasaki, and including Otani. Like Sasaki's the biggest hype train I've seen ever come out of Japan. Otani could hit and pitch, yeah, that's great and everything, but Sasaki literally is the biggest hype train I've ever seen come out of there.
And do you think that he's an injury concern with that oblique surgery that he had last year?
Who's Sasaki?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. I think he's ready to go. He's a young kid, man. He'll recover pretty easy. It's not like if anything with the shoulder, that would get me nervous. But Tommy John, man, isn't really scary anymore. But shoulder injuries and pitching is still a dicey one.
The only reason that the obliques scare me is because of Sevy. I mean, Sevy's had an oblique problem since 2017, and it seems once
Like
that
that was
goes,
that seemed like it was an aberration though.
uh,
Like I don't think that's the norm.
Yeah, he's been out for a while. I mean, let's see. Listen, he's going to the Mets, man. We'll see if he rebounds. I love Severino, man. I loved him as a player. I loved him
so
for
did
what he
I.
did for the Yankees, man. He was unreal. He was probably at the time my favorite pitcher still on the Yankees, including Garrett Cole. I loved him, but it was time for that marriage to end, man. And hopefully he figures it out somewhere else, and maybe one day can come back and finish his career off as a Yankee. It would be pretty cool.
Yep.
That would be cool. I'd like to see him in a closer role, but
John Smoltz.
yeah,
He could have. He should have done it. He could have done that easily and probably been a guaranteed Hall of Famer. Just took the John Smoltz role.
yeah, I wanted to see that, but I hope he gets. I hope he does tremendously well with the Mets. I think the kid
Agreed.
has a ton of arm talent. It's just putting it together and staying healthy.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Like I said,
Uh,
I think this is a fun year, man. It's a fun year. You start off getting Juan Soto, man. You brought in some bullpen arms, that you feel that are reclamation projects, but they've had success with those. And then on top of that, man, you have a chance to get Yamamoto. You have a chance to have 225 superstars at 25 years
yeah.
old on your roster, going forward for the next 10 plus years if you really want to do it. I mean, it's impressive. The only thing that scares me is the outfield logjam now, because I just don't see the reason that you picked up Verdugo if you don't plan on playing Verdugo, because you traded Richard Fitz and you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to
No.
trade a kid like Fitz to get Verdugo. And the outfield market's dying. It's a dying outfield. I mean, Renfro just signed for what? Pennies? Like not
Yeah.
anything serious. And he had a solid year last year with the Angels. So when he was on didn't he get traded? He got traded, right? From the
Yes,
Angels.
he got traded from the Angels
But
to I don't remember where he went,
he
but
was
yeah.
having a solid year on the Angels, man. Then got flipped. But he's a kid that he got pennies on that 2 year deal compared to what he could have. And that's the problem, man, is a lot of people don't realize um is that it's a dying outfield market, man. Everybody's pretty set in their outfield, so I don't see how you're gonna flip Verdugo and get any more back from him.
So going into next year, what do you think the outfield would be?
It's a tough one, right? Because I mean, what do I want it to be, or what do I
Yeah.
think it should?
Well,
What I
Verdugo's a 1 year deal, so he'll be done here unless the Yankees re-sign him. No.
Right? No, he'll be done, but he's here regardless this year.
Yeah.
100% he's gonna be here. So the question is, you have now you
Well,
have Trent Grisham.
hold on. Because what happens if the Yankees don't get Yamamoto? Because now I'm seeing rumors that they might pivot to Dylan Cease.
But who you trading for that? You trading what? Everson Pereira plus? I mean,
Well, I would imagine maybe Peraza. They need a shortstop right now
so
until I think
so
their number one prospect is a shortstop, but they might need a placeholder, a
yeah, so
stopgap.
so even if you trade Peraza and Pereira, right? Even if that's your deal, your outfield is still log jammed, regardless. If you look at it, I mean, think about it like this, right? You have right now to start on the year, you have Trent Grisham, who's going to be a backup fourth outfielder. You still have Giancarlo Stanton that you're going to parade out there once in a blue moon, which is it is, but it is. You got Aaron Judge now, who's going to play at a position regardless. He should have been either left field is the hardest position to play in Yankee Stadium in the outfield.
Yes.
And if you're going to move him there, man, that's going to put wear and tear on him like crazy out there. Juan Soto is not going to be able to play out in left field, so he's going to move over to right. So now you have a logjam there that gets me nervous. Verdugo would probably be your best left fielder, but now you're leaving center open to Aaron Judge, which is still scary. Because it's just a big man at 6'7" having to patrol that much space. Then you have Jason Dominguez, who needs to be back on this roster as soon as he's healthy. He
Absolutely.
showed he showed he should play
Hmm.
here. Then you also have Pereira, and let's say he picks it up and starts finding a swing at the major league level. Now you have another logjam there. And then you got a kid that the Yankees are in love with, Spencer Jones. They love him. They try to keep him out of every single deal, it looks like. So now you have
Yeah.
Spencer Jones that they're talking about possibly coming up some point next year. And he's a center fielder too. So you have
Yeah.
such a giant logjam at outfield. I don't even know what they're gonna do.
I think that they're, according to Bobby Malone, a guy I trust a ton, he thinks they can get out of the Stanton deal next year.
Yeah,
So
in what way?
buy him out.
So you're gonna buy out Stanton at almost
How
a
many
hundred
years is left on
million?
that deal?
Three
How
at
many
that
years?
point. There's four left.
3.
Well, there would be three at that point. I don't see them
Right.
buying
It's
out
almost
three,
100 grand.
almost a
That's almost
hundred
100
million.
mil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, his
there's no.
salary goes way down the last year. So it would be about 75 million from what I understand.
That's still a lot of money, man. They're gonna see. I don't see the Yankees do. They've never done that, and except for Hicks, which was rare, very rare.
Right.
People had to dang near like scream at Hal Steinbrenner to do that, and then Alex Rodriguez at the end of the last year.
I don't know, but if G has another year like this, how can they not get rid of him?
Yeah, to me he's the second worst contract on the Yankees. And me and Carlos talked about this. In my opinion, the worst logjam for you actually, man, was DJ LeMahieu.
hmm
I think
Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu is actually the worst logjam on the Yankees. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton, like you expect, like Cashman said, man, you expect him to be hurt half the season, so that's
Right.
gonna open up a hole regardless anyway. But um, DJ LeMahieu has just dropped the last couple of years, man. He can't stay healthy, and when he is not producing the same, he can get you about
He
a
was
two
pretty
WAR
good in the
player.
second half last year, though.
He was okay. I wouldn't go crazy. It's not regular DJ LeMahieu who was out
No.
here hitting 330.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
you paid for that kind of DJ LeMahieu. Not 230 DJ LeMahieu. So, and then on top of that, you're talking about him possibly moving over. He's your third baseman now, 100%.
Right.
You're talking about him possibly having to move over to first if Anthony Rizzo is not healthy again. You
Right.
know, which it's scary. It's scary stuff, man, to have this dude flipping around everywhere. I mean, he can be versatile, but I feel like his contract kind of kills you,
Yeah.
especially with all the young
Yeah, I'm
kids.
looking at Stanton's contract. It's still over $80 million over those next 3 years in 25, 26, and 27.
Not including this year, right?
Yeah,
Right.
not including this year.
Yeah, yeah. There's no way.
That's a shit ton of money. I
There's
mean,
no way they eat that.
Hal ate A-Rod's money, which was what, $27 million. Then he ate Ellsbury's money, but they went to court, so I think they settled for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Insurance covered a
even
lot
even
of that too.
even Pavano's shitty deal was just $40 million, and they pretty much ate all of that because he did nothing here but hide his injuries. Um, I, I don't see how they get out of Stanton unless Stanton tells them, "Get me out of here."
Yeah, or trade him. That's it. That's the only
Yeah,
chance.
but Stanton has to be the one to say, "Get me out of here."
You'd have to eat 50 million of that guaranteed, and then also trade like three big time prospects to get off of him because he's a clog. All he's gonna do is DH, and he's not David
And he,
Ortiz.
No.
yeah, and people
I don't
talk to
know.
me about, when I've mentioned this, people say, "Well, in the playoffs, he becomes a super." Okay, but what about getting to the playoffs? I need to get to the playoffs before I can, unleash him. Um, it's a terrible deal. I didn't like it from day one. I don't care that it was basically for Starlin Castro and Jorge Guzman. I never liked the deal. Just wasn't a fan of his. Yeah, he's played well here at times, but it's been an albatross of a contract. It's
Forgot my
just
boy
terrible.
Jose Devers, man. Forgot Jose
Oh my
Devers in
God,
that
yeah,
too.
Jose Devers. Yeah, isn't it Rafael's
Yeah,
brother
that
or
kid
something?
had an arm.
cousin, cousin,
His
yeah.
cousin? Oh,
But yeah,
but
listen,
yeah, I never liked the deal. I just did not from day before it even as soon as it was announced, I was like, wait, what? Why?
Yeah.
they flipped him for peanuts. That's what it was, and he just came off the MVP season. It's
It pretty
hard to
much
say no to that.
was. Yeah.
That's what it was, and they ate a lot of money.
Uh,
The Marlins ate a lot of money. The
30
problem is,
million.
I think the
yeah,
Marlins pitched in like 7 mil per season.
yeah, but the Marlins don't pay if the Yankees trade him.
Right.
Yep.
So that's the kicker. You know what I'm saying? The Marlins are if the Yankees cut him or trade him, then the Marlins aren't paying any more money towards it. The Yankees are responsible for the rest of the deal. So I don't see how the Yankees are going to say, yeah, let's take on an extra 21 million that we're not also paying and pay and deal with this guy when we cut him. There's just no chance. They're
Like
going to let him play.
I'm looking at these numbers, 32 million, 32 million, 29 million, and I'm just like, if he's 34 right now, but he's playing like he's 44, I can only imagine 2 years from now.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary stuff, man. He's
It's
like Julio Franco. My boy was playing till he was 80.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's what
It's
it
just
looks like.
this contract is just terrible, man. It's just terrible.
I
It's
wish
it's
he'd
yeah, it's a
age
rough
like
one.
Nelson Cruz.
Jesus.
It's
And-
see,
and-
I don't know why he doesn't go work out with Judge's trainer. I don't know why he
Judge's
wouldn't.
trainer only the hitting coach, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't work out with him.
I saw
He
I
don't
saw an interview of recently. He went on someone's podcast. I
He
forgot who it
trashed.
was.
He trashed the Yankees.
He said
Trashed.
nobody in the Yankees has ever
Ever
contacted him
reached
about
out
any
to him and
hitting
said, "What are
tips.
we doing?" Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, he said that.
really?
No, that he's never been reached out to by the Yankees. Nope.
He said, I
Huh.
don't know why no hitting coaches or anybody ever asked me like, "Hey, what
Yep.
are you doing with Aaron Judge?" Like he trashed him. He was like, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
No GM, no nobody.
Yeah. He said, and I don't want to work for the Yankees. I don't want to work for any organization, but I think he was looking at like a consultant thing or just, hitting him up about, how can, certain players improve. But he says Yankees have never spoken to him and reached out to him.
I would have if I were the Yankees, I would have him work out with Giancarlo Stanton. That would be the dude, man. Like
Man,
to
Giancarlo Stanton needs to work on yoga or something. I don't know what it is because you
yeah,
can't have these.
stretch.
I think like what, like 60% of this contract he spent it on the IL, something ridiculous
45.
like that, something crazy.
45.
It's that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, man.
Well,
He's a question mark.
Yeah,
reports were out yesterday that the Yankees asked him to lighten up significantly, to lean out. So if Stanton's thinner, lighter, maybe that helps his legs. I don't know. The guy that's working with Judge's hitting coach is Rizzo, though. I think that's going to help Rizzo a lot.
See, but Rizzo looks like
yeah,
Judge's favorite teammate, which makes me think he's Teflon here. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they hang out all the time outside of
Yeah,
baseball too. You know,
yeah.
and
and just talking on that, but I don't think that matters, right? Because Rizzo's problem wasn't hitting. Rizzo's problem was that he had a concussion that no one knew
concussion.
about.
I
That's what
mean,
that was the problem,
I feel like they knew. They just try to
Oh,
brush it
how
under the
could
rug.
you not?
bro. This medical
The guy
staff has been
couldn't hit the
horrible.
ball further than 30 feet, man. It was getting scary. Like this guy was
Yeah.
on a tear the last two
What do you mean?
years and
How
he
could
couldn't
you
hit the
not? He
ball.
played. He played for like 2 months like that.
Right. He was punch drunk. You could see it.
Yeah. So
I don't know how the Yankees missed that, but whatever.
Where do you
Um,
guys think Kershaw goes?
I think he stays
come
in
on,
LA.
gonna resign.
You think so?
I
Yeah.
think so.
How come he hasn't signed yet then?
Waiting for the money so he can figure out how little he or how much can take.
I mean, he's only I don't know if you realize he's out half the season there. So he's recovering from surgery.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
So he's out half the season. So I
I
don't
could.
know if he
I
goes
definitely
back to
see
the
him
Dodgers.
resigning, man.
I
Would
don't
you
know.
take would you take a flyer
I
on
think.
him?
I think they have to. I think they have to. They have to resign him.
Yeah, it's your king. I mean, would I take a flyer on him for a 1 year deal? I probably would. If that was the deal, I would take a flyer on him for a 1 year deal to come back. That's the best reclamation project you could have. That
Yeah.
guy's a guaranteed Hall of Famer, probably one of the top 5 to 6 pitchers of all time. The guy is unreal. I don't think he'd come here. I think it's LA or Texas, and Texas has Max Scherzer just got back surgery, so
He did?
yeah, he just got back surgery. They just announced it that he underwent repair to a herniated disc in his back, so
Huh.
he's out until about June or even July. They said.
Okay. There's one other guy I wanted to ask about before we let you go. We get a ton of questions about Ben Rice. What do you see from Ben Rice? What do you think that future looks like for him?
He came out of nowhere, right? Like this year,
Y-
he had a breakout year to come out of nowhere, man. The bat is special. It's a talented bat. Um, See, Ben Rice is an interesting character to me, man, because I want to see it one more year. Like I want to
So
see
do
it
I.
consistently. I think that's where it needs to be. Like I know you guys did an interview with Jared Cerna, and I remember I talked about Cerna. I was like, I didn't really believe in him. Like I think
Yeah,
I said
you
it
and
like
that was
I
one of your and I first arguments was I like Cerna and you were a little lower on him.
I was like, I'm not a big fan. You also said somebody else, and I told you I'm not a big fan. He trashed out this year, but
Yeah.
But Jared Serna took it, and he's killing it in the Mexican League too. I think he's
Yeah.
He
what,
is.
#1 in hits, right, this year
Yeah.
in the
He's
Mexican
number
League.
one in hits, third in batting average. He just hit his fifth home run a day or so ago. But yeah, he's killing it, man.
He looks impressive, man. He's a kid I would
Hmm.
like to see get a chance with the Yankees because he has exactly that tool that you need, and that's contact, and he does it
Yeah.
at a
Hmm.
high level. Um, but Ben Rice, the kid, I need to see it for another year. Like Cerna, I've seen it a couple of years now, so I can say, all right, I was wrong. Like the kid
Yeah.
is growing, and he's doing it everywhere he plays. Like everywhere he goes, he's playing at a high level. Ben Rice,
Yes.
I got to see it one more year, man. And I want to see them take him out of catcher. I know he's got to go to first for me, man. I got to see what he can do at first base because we have too many catchers right now that I feel like to put him at catcher, like he'll never have a chance to come up.
No. He's completely blocked in that aspect.
I don't even honestly the catcher department. I mean, you basically have your 6 catchers in a three span. So you have 2 at the majors, 2 at AAA that are all on your 40 man, and then basically except for Ben Rice, I mean, you have 2 catchers there at AA ready to come up, and Ben Rice should be at AAA. So
Yeah.
you would have
Yeah,
one
I
in
definitely
Agustin
agree with that.
Ramirez.
I think Ben Rice should be starting the season at Scranton. He should get a really good look during spring training. But yeah, I definitely don't think that he has nothing left to prove at Somerset. Um, I'm ready for him to get to the next level and show me that it wasn't just a hot streak. Um, but yeah, like you said, he looked amazing at Somerset when he came back from that injury.
Yeah, it's a fun one, man. They have a bunch of kids, man, right there that are ready. I think Austin Wells is your guy now. It's his go time.
Hmm.
He didn't look like he couldn't catch it all. Like he actually caught solid. It wasn't like I looked at him, I was like, oh my God, man, please
You
no,
didn't notice
Gary
it. You
Sanchez.
didn't even notice him. You didn't
No.
Yep.
notice him, which is good.
And
And the
that's the thing.
pitchers love how he receives. They talk about how good how well he calls a game and handles the staff.
I thought he caught better than Rovert. I thought he
Yeah.
caught way better than him, man. I thought Rovert was a little stiff when he caught, man. I thought Austin Wells was a great catcher, man. I thought he looked really well. Um, Narvaez probably, in my opinion, would trump them all, like in terms of how
Yeah.
he catches, because he looked great in spring training when he was catching for the
Yeah.
Yankees. But
He's
I would move off of Rovert too. I think that's a move that needs to get done. I think you need to open up one more catching spot.
Till I'm trading Ben Rortvet.
Yeah, I would get rid of him. I think he's got to go,
yeah.
man.
I think he's the one that's gonna go. I think they're gonna keep Narvaez.
It makes too much sense. He got an extra year, Narvaez now. Ben
Yeah.
Rovert has what, one more option year? This would be his last year of an option year.
This is yeah, I think he got an extra option year, and that is this year coming up.
So
And
this is
then
if this is his last one, that's it, man. So I would move off. I would move off of him, man, because I think that uh Trevino is going to be replaced by Agustin Ramirez. I think that's as long as he continues to climb, right? Because if
right.
he try, but as long as he continues to climb, he should be replaced by Agustin Ramirez.
And that will be an unbelievable duo behind the plate with Wells and Ramirez.
The bat, yeah, unreal
Unreal.
potential. Righty lefty, you can't do anything.
No, can't do any better. So, Nick, where can everybody find you? We get lots of questions. People want to follow you.
I don't have any social media, man. I don't really do it. I mean, sometimes you could look at me up on Instagram, man. It's under Nick Simmons, but like, um, you could probably find me through Carlos or you. but
Yeah,
yeah, man. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really on social media too much, man. I've been doing a lot of other things, man, having a baby and stuff like that. So
that's awesome. But we're going to see a lot more of you starting real soon.
now,
So,
yeah, I got more time now. So
good. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much. Thanks, Nick. Los, you got anything?
All right, guys.
Later.
Nope, that's not. I mean, I do have the Vilorio video coming soon. Also, Angel Marte and the Christopher Familia highlight reel.
Oh, I can't wait to see that Familia highlight reel. That's
Yeah.
going to be something else. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Later, guys.